big tanky picks and then gets fed some resources, but then Impact does make those big plays on the likes of Rumble, on the likes of those big playmakers top lane.
Yeah, I mean, the last time these two played, Avoidless like botched a gank on Impact and just got them double killed. So I think Amazing J is probably just gonna go for like a Nautilus, Echo, Poppy type top laner, like just something stable and with a lot of health points to soak the opposing team's damage. And yeah, Impact will just do what he does. Like he's been playing carry champions pretty well this tournament so far, and he's definitely a source of stuff like that can get C9 ahead. I guess he's like a playmaker for them.
Yeah,
so.
source of entertainment for us as well.
Yeah, I think Impact definitely needs to have a big game. He has been hit or miss, not quite what we were expecting after seeing how dominant he was at playoffs, and I think he needs to kind of get back into that form to give C9 a good chance of getting out of this, because chances are this isn't, even if they win, this isn't their last game of the day.
Yeah, they will be brought into a tiebreaker. First pick is going to be the Kennen coming in from IMA. So
Not a tank. Yeah,
not a tank.
Looking confident, I guess. It could be like a pick to deny Impact away from the Kennen, but like all the other top laners are still on the board, so not much to worry about from the Impact side.
Right, so we see Cloud9 going for the Jhin and Rex side potentially. I like that. Gets Meteos on something he's more comfortable with, unlike that Nidalee game that we saw out of him. Jhin also a sneaky special, so far I like the draft for both teams, but we'll just have to see if it ends up being a carry versus carry match up top.
Yeah, there's not many good tanks right now. Like I didn't really see much value in Amazing J's Nautilus last game or his Echo in any of the games that he's played it. I think Poppy is just like the best tank in the game right now. Like her value, like her bases seem too high, and she actually just gets absurdly tanky when she gets items, and her laning's really stable. She has a lot of wave clear, a shield to let you walk up and auto attack minions too. So if it is a tank versus carry matchup, it'll probably be Impact on Poppy, but I'm guessing he'll just play like Gnar, Jace, Rumble, maybe Rumble.
Yeah.
If it's already paired with the Rek'Sai, and that's the only really other AP top laner that's left. So.
I was expecting actually a tank matchup coming in from Amazing J, if anything, because usually when it comes to his comfort, he'll go to something even like Echo. We actually saw that last week, I think, Zig, when we were casting those games. It was like, oh, he's just on Echo now.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the only one that likes these tanks that were like really meta a couple patches ago, and still plays them this patch, like after they've been nerfed pretty heavily, and other more meta like lane dominant champions have taken over. So I don't know. I am a bit surprised to see him play Kennen actually.
I like the Rumble. It gives Impact just a playmaking champion in a sense, a carry threat. He had a really good game against IMA that time that he had the Rumble as well, so hopefully he gets a repeat performance here, because like I said, I'm being biased today. And then I like the rest of C9's draft. They get some tanks, get some physical damage in there as well, so there's no threat about going double magic damage solo laners, as well as having engage tools, so pretty well-rounded comp. Same's pretty true for IMA, honestly. I like the Sivir pick with the Skarner and Kennen both benefit a lot from that, so two good drafts so far.
Yeah, I think C9, like it's a pretty standard draft from C9 actually, because they're saving last pick for mid. I mean, they already got counter pick. Well, they picked their top lane second, so it's kind of counter pick, but I think it's hard to counter pick some of the meta top laners right now, so it's just like both solos got to choose their matchup, which is good. And yeah, I mean, they have a good damage balance as well, with the Rek'Sai being physical and Rumble magic.
What do you think Kennen will probably go first item?
What?
That's Kennen's
support?
Maokai support?
Kennen support, I guess,
Kennen,
yeah. Kennen or Maokai support, but maybe we did get that tank matchup that we were looking for after all. And it's a Maokai, not a Nautilus or an Echo. So.
I can kind of see the Maokai / Kennen going either place, because against an Alistar, I guess like Maokai could be good against that, as well as Kennen, because you have that ranged harass. So we'll just have to see which one it is. I'm not sure if either of these players are famous for
their Maokai support or Kennen support.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know Road that well, but Amazing, definitely a more tank player.
Yeah.
So maybe the Maokai.
Yeah, Maokai into Rumble isn't so bad. I think early on, like, well, actually most of the lane phase you'll just lose, but you can kind of hold, and then the ult's really good in team fight versus Rumble. Like, you know, you mitigate the AoE damage, so it does make sense into the Rumble.
I was talking with some people about Maokai Rumble, and I was saying that like it's like kind of Rumble favor, but you get gank set up, and then they were saying no, Maokai's fine into it. You can trade really heavily, but then like I always thought that wasn't that good, because if you're trading really heavily with Maokai, the Rumble can gank you easily as well. So like I don't know exactly how the matchup goes.
Yeah, I think the Maokai just can usually match the, like, he has good AoE for the wave as well early on. Like, Q and E both have pretty high values, and they're both AoE, so you can clear the wave out, but it just seems like Rumble has like an easier trading pattern on the Maokai. Like, for Maokai to really take a good trade, he usually has to cast W, and that puts him, like, you know, he has to be right on top of
you.
Yeah.
And that kind of exposes you to getting ganked too, so it's, yeah, I guess it is kind of jungle dependent, but I think it's probably easier from, like, I prefer to be the Rumble side 100% of the time, just because you can push the wave from every point, and sometimes the Maokai could get mana problems before he has double doing, so.
So taking these two compositions from an unbiased perspective, which team would you favor, just looking at the entire draft now?
I would. Well, see, the hard thing is I'm not exactly sure how the Kennen support really goes.
Yeah.
Like, I think that might give them priority bot lane, which would make me like their draft. But at the same time, I don't know how, like, defensive it is, because if you're going to just get destroyed by a Flash Alistar pulverized headbutt into a Rek'Sai, then I don't really like it that much. So, I like both teams' drafts in theory. I just have to see it play out a little bit. But, of course, C9 hopefully wins.
Yeah, hopefully at the end of the day. Zig, have you had much experience facing like Kennen supports down?
Not lately. I know it was like in the meta before at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like a first time this tournament, I guess, type thing. So.
I'm notorious for playing flashback picks. Had the Nautilus last game. This time they have Kennen support and Maokai top.
Are we just going to go further back in metas? We'll reach like Season 2 at some point.
Yeah, they play some tiebreakers today, and next thing you know, it's just Maokai jungle, trying to buy oracles. Like, where is this in the shop?
Yeah, I'm actually really surprised that Amazing J went with the Maokai, because that would put him through all the trifecta of the tank picks that were meta before. Like, he went through the Nautilus and Echo already, and now he's just on the Maokai. Like, he wanted one on every one of them before he left Worlds, I guess. And
could have got the Scion maybe in there.
The Hall of Fame.
yeah, if he plays one more at tiebreak, it's probably Scion. So.
Probably. I mean, I don't even know if people know how to play against that anymore. We just haven't seen it in so long. But yeah, we'll just see how this top lane matchup goes. As you were saying, I think he should be fine in the early game. He's gone for the Doran's Ring as well, because he can harass through the minion wave, and because the way that Rumble pushes up to minions, like, he's in range to get hit by his Q.
He's, the thing to note is he's setting up Victor with the saplings to clear the small ones with one laser. So that's something that people do. They used to do, kind of, in order to give the mid laner a bit of a level 2 advantage, but it's not something we'd seen much recently, also because we haven't seen much Maokai recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the Victor should just hit 2 off the first wave, basically. I think it's like 1 creep early.
Wait, is that too many? Doesn't that give Maokai the...
Yeah,
actually, 3 should... Yeah, he just takes it himself.
Yeah, 2 allows the mid laner, 3 is taking the little ones himself.
Alrighty.
Right, so I guess he's taking those for himself to get an early level 2 and hopefully surprise impact. We'll have to see if that's able to pay off.
I mean, it's a bit harder to trade on the first wave with E actually compared with Q, because Q you can like cancel an auto attack as well.
Yeah.
And E's just like, you know, it's pretty telegraphed, I guess, the type of trade that you're taking. You
Like
just
right here, if he had Q, he'd probably like trade a little bit of impact, but with E, it's just like, oh, you've thrown down a sapling. Okay, I guess I'll just run away.
Why'd that sapling not run? It just sat there.
yeah, it went down and...
It ran to one of the dying minions,
Yeah.
so it was
Oh, so
locked
it
on.
lost it,
Yeah,
okay,
exactly, because
okay.
it doesn't react.
I didn't see it, the minion die. I was
Yeah.
like, what the?
what
so
are
he's
you
gonna
doing?
hit 2 off that creep.
Remake.
Ooh, Impact's confused. Pushes the wave all the same, nothing changes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
still wins the trade really hard.
And
Well, he got caught by one of the E's.
Alright.
Yeah, that really sucks for Maokai. Well, rest in peace.
The wave is not in a terrible spot. It's still going to come into the Maokai, but not really what you want off your first wave push.
No, generally as Maokai in like any matchup, you want to stay behind at least your melee minions so you can harass through them with your Q. But if you get caught by the E's from Impact, he's going to run you down.
yeah, I'm surprised. Impact actually didn't even overheat auto him one time.
Right, I thought I
would've-
could have gone for one.
Yeah.
It would have made the trade better. I thought it was like he was trying to like not make his lane push, but it's pushing anyway, so.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's okay. He burnt through the pod as well, so Amazing J just has to sit a tower. Well, now that he's behind minions, it's just like, well, what's Amazing J going to do except wait for the minions to come to him now?
Definitely a bad feel for the Maokai though to just max range farm. You basically just play the lane on the back foot, I guess, if this is how it starts, and you just wait for your lane to crash the tower.
Yeah, I mean, I remember back in the day, the Rumble Maokai matchup, it could get pretty snowbally too, where if you're getting your double pen items before the Maokai is able to complete much of his first MR item, it can get really bad for the Maokai. And, I mean, he'll be able to catch up with his farm a little bit, so it shouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, he's playing it fine, I guess. But the Rumble definitely has priority, so...
And he's
gonna
out
go
of both
explore.
pots already too.
Oh, yeah. 15 gold. Let's go. NA's Pride. C9 Impact.
Yeah, NA's Pride, the Korean top laner. Let's go.
Yeah. Well, he's C9 Impact now, so.
Right, and
He's
bot
yours.
lane looks like a great trade for C9. Let's go.
Let's go. All right, first TP for lane. Double Doran refillable.
Is that going to be enough for him to sustain through Impact? 'Cause I assume Impact's going to finish shoving in the next wave or two and then try and reset as well.
Yeah, I guess it depends what Impact buys. Impact's probably just gonna go for some AP. First item, Leandre's most likely, because that's I think the most effective like AP item versus people who are tanky getting MR items. Like Maokai's next buy is probably a Cowl.
Yeah, like Impact going into Overheat there, like Amazing J, I don't think was ever going to get a good trade out of that. It was okay, I guess.
He's already down one corrupting and he burned his TP. Yeah, this like
Yeah.
he's just using the teleport as a crutch for his laning phase.
If you were the Rumble here, would you be worried about getting a recall off, or would you just try and keep the pressure up and hit 6 early and try and set up a dive or something?
Yeah, honestly, there's no need for him to use his TP because the Maokai's not even pressuring him. Like, the Maokai can't really take aggressive trades, it looks like, and he's having just the Rumble's having a perfectly fine time pushing him right now, so there's no need for the TP right now. Like, and yeah, since his bot lane's already winning too, he could snowball their advantage even more.
Yep, this sucks for Amazing J. However, if you're a C9 fan, like this desk is, then this is going pretty well. Impact's in like a perfect position to get big off this.
And Impact can actually make him walk up to the wave too. Like, he made all the minions attack the same one. Yeah, like, how's the Maokai trade back? It seems hard.
Yeah, you just can't, like, as soon as you use like priority in that lane and Impact can walk behind those minions, then he's just going to hit you all day. I played a lot of Maokai, and like double Durans is like the dream. I've gone on many rants about double Durans on tanks. It just feels really good when you're able to get trades off, but if you can't even hit your opponent with Q, then it's just like this happens, and it feels really, really bad.
Yep.
Yeah, so Impact will probably go for a buy after he gets this push in.
Kind of surprised not to see some assistance coming his way. I mean, your bot lane is apparently doing fine. Meteos hasn't impacted either place on the map yet.
Yeah.
So I would have thought to have seen him go into one of the 2 lanes with pressure and try and get something done.
Yeah, I want to see him give him at least level 6 gank.
He's hiding.
Okay.
It's a good way to hide.
Oh, Impact.
The pride.
The pride. This is when you just shove the lane and be like, whatever, I just wanted to reset.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to kill you there.
It's a win-win really for Rumble here, but oh, it lands the double E as well.
It's just brutal for the Maokai side. I mean, Maokai was smart to ward there, actually.
Yeah.
I guess Impact's used to, or Amazing J's used to getting
get
pushed in his
pushed in a little
tower
bit,
and
yeah.
like people hiding and trying to kill him. But yeah, if the jungler makes one visit up here,
The lane's,
Amazing
like,
J's dead.
over,
Yeah,
yeah.
like he has to base and he has no TP for lane already. And so,
Do you think it's the kind of thing where maybe Impact's trying a little bit too hard to let the rest of his team get going? Because, I mean, obviously we don't know the communication, but you would say that like calling for the jungler here is not a bad idea, and you're not seeing Meteos get much else done. Do you think maybe he's not pushing his advantage as hard as he should be?
well, yeah, I think the way that C9 seems to operate too, it's like,
Well, as I say, that dive comes bottom.
okay, not bad. Free kill, sweet.
Yep.
Yeah, but I think just Impact's like the type of player that doesn't really get that many resources from C9. Even, like, there'd be a lot of other games where he's doing the exact same thing, like really whooping on his lane and building leads by himself, but no one really comes up to snowball it. Like, the past 2 games that we saw where we followed Impact, I think Smoothie was actually on Alistar and he made his way up, like, off of his, like, a good early base, like, first 3 or 4 levels. And he got him rolling with a kill, but yeah, like, I definitely think Meteos could just make a trip up and help Impact, help NA.
Help.
Help NA.
I mean, this is exactly what C9 did like last week, right? When he played Amazing J and he got the double, and then he like went bot lane, and they just left him on an island, and they just did stuff on the rest of the map. They just really didn't care about helping out Impact, but he's drawing enough pressure, and now he's got the haunting guys as well in that lane.
Yeah.
Maokai doesn't even have Cal, so
Yeah, one thing I do want to mention is right before Impact got his base off, he like he moved like a snake around the lane, like to make sure that this wave would build up and be this big when it comes back to it. So what that does is it basically just means Maokai misses a bit more, like a couple more minions will die than normal, and Impact should come back to even more farm. So he's just like building a big lead for himself without any pressure from his jungler.
As the Maokai, obviously your lane's pretty over. What do you think that he should be trying to do? Should he be like, oh, well, another kill for Cloud9 in the mid lane?
yeah.
I was going to say, like, is there something he should be looking to do in terms of trying to set up something with a Skarner and they just chain CC somebody, or is it the kind of thing where you're down so much pressure everywhere on the map that you just hope C9 starts making some head scratchers?
Yeah, I mean, it's just hard from the Maokai's position because you don't really want to, like, as the Skarner, you don't want to, like, try to snowball the Maokai. It's not going to get you a big lead. Like, he's not a damage dealer by any means, so snowballing a Maokai lane's like, you know, you just have a tankier Maokai who's, like, getting screwed in all these trades equally as bad anyway, so. I mean, he can look for some TPs, but that's like, yeah, it's only if your lanes have set up or are winning, and I think those two, like, criterion are not met right now by any of IMEI's other lanes.
Right now, it seems it's very hard for Avoidless to do like anything though. So, do you think it would be worth just like spending his ult top lane, pathing through like enemy jungle like he is right now? Do you think he could just like loop around and potentially look for a gank?
Yeah, he could try. I mean, last time he did, they got double killed.
I was about to say, do you think there's 2v1 potential? Because, I mean, Rumble's that kind of champion where it's just like, you guys messed up. You just dropped the ult.
We've seen it before, yeah.
Ooh, tragic. Yeah, but if he gets his spells off, I mean, he's going to get his damage off, so. Yeah, there's a chance that Impact could just play it perfectly and the gank could go south.
Here's a question for you, pro player. If the Rumble gets his Q off and gets ulted by the Skarner, what direction will he be facing? Away,
Probably
facing,
away.
Or same direction as when you cast it?
My guess is away, but I'd have to see that interaction to really know. I haven't really played against a Skarner because he hasn't been meta until Worlds. And ooh, good trade from Amazing J. The Maokai hiding. Impact decides he doesn't want to flash.
Fortunately, the big burst coming out from Maokai was the ultimate pop. Oh, jumps after him with the
the solo kill.
Just advance as well. Avoidless comes in, that's a smite. And we'll pull him away and rest in peace. We didn't get to see the interaction, but we did see the kill. That was a really good setup from Maokai.
Yeah. I mean, I think that was Impact just being actually too greedy to try to clear the rest of the wave. But,
You mean angling the ult to hit the creeps as well? Or
yeah. Well, no, he just, like, after he cast his ult to fight the Maokai because he knew the Maokai was all-inning him, he just kind of, like, he had to flash away, then he just came back and tried to, or no, he didn't have to flash away. He disengaged properly, but then he's like, oh, I'm going to walk in range of you and try to clear the rest of the creeps, and Maokai just flash W'd him, so he just walked up too far, I guess. But it's still fine. It's like, I think that's how the matchup should go, because Maokai can set up for ganks, as he just did, and it looks like Impact's getting very little attention from his own jungler, so.
Wow, yeah, Skarner literally walked up from like Wolf Camp.
Yeah, the ult's fine, but then he's like, oh, I want this cannon.
Well, especially since he's
I
coming
want this
through
range
wards.
creep.
That was
He walked
really,
through too, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, Impact just literally zoned in on the creeps. It happens, but
Yeah,
his team made the counterplay, so it's whatever.
yeah, worth.
Yeah.
Drew jungler pressure. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sometimes you have to play that far up to make stuff. I mean, like, he shouldn't have died there. Like, it's a mistake by like any way you look at it, but it's still like, yeah, the jungler had to visit to kill him, so. Because the flash under tower, like, actually prevented the Maokai from killing him 1v1. It's just the blue smite and Skarner all finished him off.
Playing a lot more defensive now. I don't think anything tipped him off that there's two people around the corner, but
He's just flashless, and the Maokai basically, like, the way he's been playing, you can kind of read it, I guess. Like,
yeah.
The other thing too is they have a lot of wards in the bot side jungle, and not seeing the Skarner there is
it's a
little
tell.
bit of a
and he has no jungler on his side of the map, too, so he pretty much is...
There's zero reason to walk up and contest that wave.
Didn't stop him last time, but I guess dying once is enough.
Yeah, a little slap on the wrist. Be
Yeah.
like, hey, you guys are still in groups.
Yeah.
However, C9 doing pretty well at the start of this game. The rest of the lane seems to be going well. Jensen 3 kills in mid lane. And bot lane's doing also well. Something happening down in mid lane.
That's a dead Victor.
And there's both TPs come in, and Impact's going to be able to get a decent ult off on top of people.
Whoop. Amazing J did not want to
Flashless.
TP there and was flashless, yeah.
It's just like the Nautilus from last game.
Yeah.
He's just there, and then he dies.
I was about to say, actually, he has no armor versus the armor pen at Jhin, but Jhin didn't actually go the armor pen build. He's going more of the crit
nice
focus
retriever.
scaling
Yeah, it
build.
looks like he's snowballing pretty hard. I mean, actually, I guess you would want the other one for snowballing.
Right, I was
like
about to say, I prefer if your Jin's way ahead that you don't need to worry about scaling and you just run people over with like your ult and stuff, but Sneaky going for the other build instead.
So the top wave actually bounced, and Impact is picking up the worst of the two waves, just being an all-around team player here.
Okay, here's what happened. So we know the TPs came down, but Smoothie got there first, yeah. Flash combo.
into the Jin route, just not moving. Rise
Into the
CC
ult.
as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty clean.
That's nasty.
It took a little while to actually kill the Victor, so he was able to trade some damage back on the Smoothie, but then the rest of the team, the rest of the map's so far ahead in C9's favor, with Sneaky being able to come in and do so much damage that the Rumble ult wasn't like super high impact, but it was enough, and then the extra slows for the Maokai.
What do you think about Amazing J's build here? Because he went into the Kindle gem there after the Spectre's Cowl and also after that fight, not going for extra armor now instead of just leaving it at the Cowl. Do you think that's okay, considering like it seems like the map's opening up a little bit more now?
Yeah, I think he probably could have sat on the cowl and tried to build an armor item like the Sunfire or something, but I guess he's just kind of focused on his 1v1 matchup, which is fine too. It's just like he's gonna be overall less effective in team fight for sure.
I think it's okay considering like the Rise is snowballing arguably just as hard as the Jin, and the Jin's not going the armor pen build. The need for armor isn't quite as high as it might normally be. And he's against double magic, so I think it's fine to try and finish out some of this cowl, but he does have to be careful because that Jin will do a lot of damage.
The Maokai actually caught up in farm just because Impact had to take the worst of the two waves, and it just increased the Jin over Sivir advantage too.
That's one of the things I think people often miss is how like lane assignments affect farm, where you'll see someone get like a massive lead and it's like the lead is on someone else, where it seems like that person's getting destroyed and it's like, no, we keep giving this guy the bad wave and the other guy the good wave.
Yeah, there's actually like no real need for the Maokai to like be up in farm anyway too, but I guess Rumble kind of like walked up, or Impact walked up there just to hold his team's hand, make sure that they got that tower. And he actually ends up catching most of this wave too, so it's not bad. Not too bad.
Yeah, he'll get most of this as well, and he's got the Dandry, so he can like one-shot the back wave. Do have a question from Twitter coming in from ZamRockin2, who says, Zig, what are some of the unpicked top laners you want or expect to see in quarters or semis?
And I'm a Kled fan, but besides that, I don't know. I think most of the champions, aside from like flex picks and stuff, have been shown. I think like the Jace Rumbles, I'm a big fan of too, and yeah, just Kled, I would say.
What if, looks like Athena's trying to get caught out here with the ghost.
Trying to get caught out.
Not trying to get caught out. Is trying to avoid getting caught out. About the Kled, what is it that you like about it? The engage potential from the ultimate, the laning phase?
Okay, the lane phase is absolutely atrocious.
Yeah, I was about to say, you probably don't like the laning phase.
It's like, yeah, like especially learning how to lane as him, like it was a real experience for me. Like I just keep dying all the time and getting dismounted like at level 2 or something and feeling super hopeless in lane. But after failing enough times, it's like I kind of have an idea of how to make laning more stable. And yeah, it's just like once he gets 2 items and you flank someone, it feels really satisfying. You just kill him with one combo. Like you land the ult, it's a huge amount of burst damage. That's percent of max HP. And
Oh,
fight starting.
on the hunt popped. Amazing J's in there.
Yeah, Amazing J flash W'd on the Sneaky. Oh, he got him.
Yeah, 1 for 1 so far, but it's support for AD. And Amazing J is surprisingly untouched in this fight. He's just on the back and knocking people down. This is really good.
Yeah, they caught the Jin, so I guess that's a major source of damage.
I don't like Impact's decision to put the ultimate on top of the front line. He basically ulted Maokai instead of trying to stick it on the back line, and it didn't really do much because the problem was it's like you're not going to kill the Maokai no matter what. So you can try maybe get someone else in the team really low. He did a ton of damage to Sivir just with one harpoon. So I'm not sure if he should have focused more on trying to go onto the back line while the front line Aimee was tumbling on C9's back line, or what his options were there.
We'll probably see in a second as well, but yeah, Amazing J just found it so easy to get on top of Sneaky. Oh, here we go.
He just flashed W the Jin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
he's pretty close.
C9 was just a little too aggressive in that engage, just running straight at them and getting peeled back on. And then Amazing J doing what Maokai does, just being this fat blob that sits on top of people.
Yeah. So they know he's flashed this here. I don't know if they can get this kill actually.
Yeah, he jumped to Meteos already.
Maybe did.
Oh, did get the sap magic off.
Nope, not gonna be able to get the
Nice.
kill.
That's a tanky Maokai.
What was your favorite thing you used to say about Maokai? Is a tank that does too much damage or something? You always had this thing you yell when Maokai was killing people on your team.
I don't know. That
remember
sounds about right though.
I remember the Glory TLA days where like Fabi was getting killed by a Maokai, just like, why does this thing do so much damage?
Yeah,
It's a tank.
I don't know. Maokai in meta is like, I never like seeing it, but this Maokai's actually doing pretty well. Like, especially after how much he kind of like wimped out in lane phase. Like he really wasn't winning any trades. Like the jungler could have snowballed the matchup too, but he's made it to the point where Maokai actually turns on his Maokai, and like the champion strengths of like, you know, being untargetable when he's CCing people and reducing AoE damage will all now shine. So
Do you think the decision from Sneaky to not go the armor pen build mattered a lot, because these are 2 fights now where he still had no armor, and Sneaky doesn't have any like flat armor pen. He just has the more crit scaling build.
Yeah, I'm not too sure how like Jin scales. Like if you're ahead, if you can hit the crit points earlier, if it's better or worse. But yeah, like I just think the last fight he was just out of position and the Maokai got a flash W on him, so it was really hard to say what his contribution was. And yeah, I don't know really. I'd have to play more Jin.
Or play more Maokai.
Yeah,
that's
get the
true,
other side of the matchup. I feel like it will hit a breakpoint where he'll be able to chunk through the Maokai, but it's going to be a while, because like from those last fights he got Spirit Visage and Barmies, and now he's still pretty big, so yeah, he has pretty much turned on in this matchup. Impact, well, yeah, he altered the front line, which was not so great, and now he's also in a side lane. What should he be doing from it? Like,
He's probably going to go for Void Staff next, yeah, looks like. That's like pretty much the earliest you can get online is if you get an early Void Staff with Liandry's on Rumble. And then your ult will just do maximum damage no matter how much MR the other guy has. But yeah, Impact should just kind of got caught. And it's like, yeah, if he gets his ult on the backline, he can kind of zone out like at least 3 people from like walking the same direction as the rest of his team in a fight.
While we're talking just about Impact and Rumble, I have a question from Twitter. Sloshy1643 says, if Rumble builds Liandry's against tanky laners, what does he build first against laners that aren't tanky? Answer that in a second as we have a fight in mid lane. Road is just going to instantly die, but as better ultimate from Impact. Smoothie went real deep though.
Yeah, it looks like just a trade of supports basically, not much getting done. Cloud9 are still relatively healthy, but so are I'm probably just going to see some wave clear. That's about it.
Yeah, I think first, it depends on the lane, but Liandry's first item I think is actually best in a lot of cases, or that's what a lot of, like, as far as efficiency goes, if you fall behind or are snowballing really hard, the only other choice I choose or the only other item I go when I'm snowballing hard is the Proto Belt, Hextech Proto Belt, just because, especially versus squishy targets, it's really easy. If you ambush them, like you hide in a bush long enough and they think they're safe, so they use some skills on the wave, you can just open on them a lot easier with a Proto Belt. It closes enough distance where it's pretty easy to land the E, and then once you do that, once you land the E, you can pretty much use your full overheat combo. And yeah, if they're squishy, they should just die.
So the double armor pen start is basically dead. You're more or magic pen build. You're more focused on getting the.
Yeah, I think Sork's haunting guys is good too versus squishies, especially if they're not itemizing MR. But I like open on people with Proto Belt. Like it just feels really, it feels really satisfying to like, yeah, just like to kill someone from 100-0 with a Proto Belt.
Do you Proto Belt? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say something really stupid.
Oh, okay. Me too. But no, do you Proto Belt first or do you E first when you're comboing someone?
Oh, usually Proto Belt to close the distance, and then you want to like open with them on about 50 heat, like. And then use all your skills in succession, land the E's, and then you should be overheating like on the second, or you should be overheating on your Q or W cast, and then your second, like, so you're 50, you Proto Belt E, that puts you to 60, you W, Q, and then you still should have E because you used it earlier in the combo, even though you're past 100, and then you just start auto attacking them to death with Q on them. And yeah, it's just the Rumble combo. I mean, Proto Belt just makes it easier to land stuff, basically, because it closes distance.
My contribution to the conversation is going to be that I think the Proto Belt's great on Rumble because it doesn't really make sense to have a giant mech that has no, like, rocket jump. Like, he needs some kind of boost into a fight. And it just fills out his character a lot more for me. So
that's true. I liked it better when you could, like, Proto Belt, when it first got released, you could cast the E and Q at the same time or something as the Proto Belt, so it's like just a bunch of rockets at once. And
oh man,
it's pretty hard to
stuff
avoid.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Living the mech dream. I think it's a little scary for me that Cloud9's slowing down a little bit. I mean, they've got a lot of the turrets on the map, and they're going to keep trying to rotate between top and mid for bearing control, as well as going for picks like this one onto a Void list.
Just
good
a face
zoning.
check in Skarner.
Good zoning Rumble ultimate.
Yeah.
I think they used too many spells on him, actually. But like after he flashed and the Rumble already had the flank, 2 Rumble E's is like 80% slow. And oh, they're going.
Yeah. Oh wow, that flank from the Rise ultimate was so good.
So that's support jungle dead. I don't know if they want to start the Baron. Oh, okay, they want to kill the Victor.
Fiona run.
They can long flank this guy. I'm pretty sure he's dead if they.
Yeah, I mean, this was rude.
There's Ghost as well. Like, oh, yeah, nope. See ya.
The only problem is that Chase puts them way out of range of Baron. They're not going to be really able to transition it into it most likely.
They might try anyway.
Might try.
Yeah, the Skarner's still dead for a bit, but
I mean, they
he's
have
like
really good
up.
damage, actually, to be able to get it.
There's so many wards in that area. Amazing J pushing up. There is a trap there as well.
Skarner's on his way. It would be nice to have that Rumble ultimate to just kind of zone the Skarner right now.
Yeah, but I think, yeah, Baron's dead. It looks like it's burning quick enough, and Smoothie's just waiting to see a Skarner so he can headbutt him.
Yeah.
Amazing
Maokai
J. Here
steal.
comes the Q-stick. Nah.
Alright. They don't really want to full commit to a fight here because everyone's up, but it really depends on how it goes.
Yeah, Amazing J still sat on Sneaky, and that's a lot of damage just coming in from his
Jin starts
ultimate.
flashing.
Oh, Sneaky managed to flash out at the last second.
Road missed the Q
That's
as well.
really good for C9. Let's go, C9.
Let's go, boys.
I'm American now.
And the Jin ult's back up. That's what I like to see.
Oh, Thunder Cow coming in there. Get him Smoothie.
The Rumble ult, however, is not back up. So actually, Impact didn't really play the last two fights too great, but the rest of his team's really doing well.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big problem in this game is just that Kennen pick. Like, this is why when you asked me what I thought of the two comps, I was like, I really need to see what this Kennen does.
Well, now we've seen.
It's a bit of an X factor, and you don't want that X to be 1/6. It's been a big struggle for the bot lane.
Just look how long Sneaky holds his flash for. He's like just running in a circle.
That's pretty manly.
He's about to die. And he's like, oh, it's a support Kennen flanking me. Okay, time to flash.
Not quite the same level of burst you're used to seeing out of that Kennen flank. I feel bad for Amazing J this game. It feels like if they had not kind of sabotaged bot lane, that this actually would have been a really good comp for Aime, and Amazing J's actually been playing pretty well in terms of like his root targets and stuff. So I kind of feel bad for the Maokai. You get picked to play for your team, and your team just kind of fails you.
Yeah. You never really want to be the Maokai in a situation like this. It's like he played, I mean, he basically took like the worst end of the laning phase. Like Impact was taking any free trade he wanted with him, and he had to kind of sit under tower and farm. Then they get a kill on him because he was hiding in the brush, and so like, yeah, he made stuff happen for his team, but his team didn't exactly make stuff happen for him. So that's like the bot side of the map just lost too hard in a fight.
Yeah, the sad life of Amazing J. Do you think he could have done anything with a different pick, like a carry pick, or even like the Kennen?
I mean, he could have just played Kennen.
Yeah,
I guess, you know, put Maokai support or just not pick Maokai. But I think he's more comfortable on tank picks compared with carry picks, just judging by his history of champion usage this tournament.
Yeah.
Echo Nautilus.
Also in his
Nautilus,
own region
Nautilus.
as well. Yeah.
I don't understand the Nautilus.
This
but
is when you could zoom in slowly on the Nautilus pick. Like what?
yeah.
I think from here, it's really tough for Aime. C9 has a lot of catch-out potential and just ability to take turrets pretty safely. Because, I mean, they can try and get an alt flank or a TP flank off with the Maokai into like a Skarner pulling into the team, but I mean, like you can just also have Smoothie headbutt away that TP flank, and then it just becomes so hard for Amazing J to get in.
Yeah, actually playing Maokai versus Alistar feels pretty bad too. Just it's hard to get that angle unless you just want to go on the Alistar, which is kind of unideal.
Suboptimal, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, there we see the engage by Cloud9 getting right onto Athena, who's still alive. Counter engage from Road onto the rest of the front line from Cloud9. But
Impact actually overheated at the same time that they used that combo. So his ult just came out at like a completely different time. I honestly think Meteos just jumped the gun on that engage. Because they're like getting chip damage on the tower, but it's like he just really wanted to go on that wave, and everyone did.
I mean, Athena had no flash, so maybe they were thinking, you know, let's just pop this guy. But without the Rumble ultimate being ready, they just lacked the damage over the top.
Yeah.
TP flanked by Amazing J. That's that headbutt out we were talking about. But the rest of the team managed to get on the Sneaky. He's gonna go down.
Ooh.
Yeah, they stayed around with 3. Like Jensen was actually bot, so just good punish by Aime.
Cloud9's getting really sloppy. Not quite what you want to see, despite still having a 10k gold lead.
Yeah, it seems like Jensen's actually like most of that gold lead right now. Okay, it says he's 4.2k of that gold lead. Sneaky is, yeah, where is it coming from?
Got 2k from Sneaky, 4 from there, and a couple from
Yeah,
Impact.
1.5 from top and mid, yeah, and jungle.
I mean, yeah, so there's basically Jensen up 4k, and then the rest of the team kind of 1
Yeah,
and
they
2.
have the little, like a couple towers or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he does have a lot of kills. Got another question from Twitter, kind of going along what we were saying earlier as well. Fox AU says, who do you feel is the more dominant top laner right now, Rumble or Kennen?
Personally, I'm better at using Rumble than Kennen. Like, I never really understood, because Kennen, you kind of get pushed in most of the laning phase in most matchups, and I don't like being the one to get pushed in, because it means the opposing top laner has more free time to make stuff happen, and like, yeah, if your team gets caught out or something, they'll usually be first, so they have more snowball opportunities. But it seems like they're about the same from how the world's top laners are using them. They're both AoE team fighters. They both, if they get like their spells off in the correct order and like in good position, can really just take over a team fight, like if they get a flank or something. And usually you see their damage numbers as like extraordinarily high most of the game. So I think they're about even. I personally like Rumble more because you get to push in all game, but yeah, I think they do about the same job.
Amazing J taking 3 members of C9.
4
Just
members
walking
of C9.
away.
It's the Maokai.
Doing the Maokai.
Yep.
It's like,
doing
let's flank the
thing.
Maokai. Wait, we can't even kill this guy.
Yeah. I just play the devil's advocate on that side. I prefer the Kennen a little bit. I just like having the CC reliability from the TP flank that it can bring, whereas as Rumble, you can flub that ult a lot easier if you just line it up wrong or there's not a follow-up and like a Karma can just speed people off of it. I think for me, I enjoy the reliability of the Kennen a little bit more, though I think the Rumble has like crazier mid-game spiking because he doesn't, like Kennen still needs a couple items, like just the Protobelt isn't going to do it, just the Zhonya's, you need a couple before he's like really unlocked.
Yeah,
Waiting around this area now.
I think it's like comp dependent too, because
Right.
SKT seem to punish the like C9's Kennen really hard with like, it's like, okay, the Kennen's coming in, let's just try to Zyra root him, and then everyone runs away. Or like we can lead kick him if he ever gets too close. And like every time he gets in, he gets exhausted too. But the Rumble, you can kind of, as long as you're not melee
you're out of
flanking
range as
them,
well.
yeah, you can just like put an ult down, and you should get most of your damage up, because if you're like max range, they can't exhaust you. So it's, yeah.
Different uses, right? Like,
Yeah, they're both
Yeah.
AP top laners though, and they both are like dominating the top lane meta right now. Like a lot of the picks you're thinking about playing, like they have to keep Rumble and Kennen in mind because they're strong laners too. Like it kind of crowds out champions like Gangplank. Like someone asked earlier if you could play Gangplank still, and it's like Rumble and Kennen just both really beat on Gangplank in lane.
how do you manage like teleports on Rumble? Because we'll see it like coming up to this fight as well. Because I know when I'm playing Rumble, like I TP in like a tank and then just insta pop as soon as I land.
Yeah, if you have Zhonya's, you can do that, but you still have to be kind of careful, because if you TP into like a Victor and he just force fields you, then you actually won't even get spells off if they just do it properly. So usually like the best flanks are like you're kind of out of vision and coming pretty close, but that, yeah, it's just up to your team to set up the vision and stuff, and you to see the ward and them to be in the right position. Usually, yeah, coming from the side or the back is better though on damage dealers that can kind of double as frontliners like Rumble and Kennen. Or if they get in the middle of your team and they get his Zhonya's off, it's pretty devastating.
Seems to be a couple wards for him to TP to. There's like a good one just behind, like if they stop Baron as well.
They got the wolves, they got that
The blue
ramp
buff.
next to the turret.
Yeah.
They got a lot of
I
good
think they have
wards.
like Jhin traps too, yeah. It's a pretty good setup actually if they try to bait out the Baron and want to turn on them.
Yeah, he's grouped up with them though instead of going to split push bottom. I don't hate that idea. The extra damage he lends to the Baron allows you to kind of threaten the force of it a lot harder.
And the wave's already pushing. Man, that Rise combo does 800 to the Baron.
Yeah, and that's on like a 2 or 3 second.
Yeah, it's mental.
And Smoothie's just looking at...
Oh, that's such a good Rumble ultimate right on top of Amazing J. Sneaky split though, and the rest of
So does
IM
Fina.
are kind of grouped up.
They need sustained damage for the Maokai.
Impact into the Zhonya's.
Oh, this is actually really bad
This
for
is like,
C9.
this is, yeah, this is not good.
Until the Rise damage hits.
Oh, here comes Jensen.
Kind of got really close to them. Meteos was able to get in some CC onto the team.
Yeah, Sneaky and
flash by
Jensen
Amazing
still had
J.
a lot in the tank.
Oh,
But so did the Fina. Oh, nice. Nice kill there by Sneaky.
that was really sloppy by
Just
Cena.
Yeah.
super random actually.
I
I
don't
think
know.
they had the Baron low enough where they might have been able to burn it too.
They either could have finished it or they just need to stay grouped up. Like their comp definitely is not like a flank heavy comp or anything like that. You just want to melt Amazing J when he comes in, melt Avoidless when he comes in, play on the same side. And the fact that Sneaky got split right at the start of that fight.
Yeah, he was like hitting Baron from over the wall or something, or no, he just
ulted
that,
off
yeah.
to the
you
right.
can't ult from that angle. Yeah, that's really weird.
But Fina got like walled off by the Rumble ultimate as well. And then he got in onto Impact.
Well, that's why I like the Rumble ult initially, is because it kind of blocked off that choke and was on top of the front line. And then I thought that they were going to just melt the front line before I realized Sneaky wasn't even with them.
Yeah.
So that was definitely a
Did
problem.
he run all the way around?
Yeah, he had to run all the way around to get in the right side. And Jensen was able to basically control the fight until this point, but he got really low on one of his combos where he got chunked, and then the second time he gets close to Athena just trades and kills him.
Honestly, that could have been even more disastrous for C9 though. If the carries hadn't played the end of that fight well, they just would have lost the Baron, which would have spelled a comeback for Aimee.
I mean, the comebacks, I'm already starting to get a whiff of it. It's dropped from basically 10K to 7. It's getting closer and closer every minute. I really don't like the way this game's going. C9's not inspiring much confidence in their late game.
Yeah, the game just slowed down so much, just pretty randomly. Like, it's like the plays that they're making aren't that great, and I guess their Dragon RNG isn't that good either.
You don't want the triple cloud?
I guess clouds are pretty good,
so
but
fast.
I don't think it's good for their comp because like you're not gonna outspeed the Sivir once she decides to start a fight with you.
yeah.
Because like the Maokai's gonna do something to start the fight. You're gonna lose your Cloud Drake buff, and then you're gonna get outsped by the Sivir. I personally don't think the Cloud Drake does close to anything for him.
Yeah, like if they had a single mountain or something, that Baron would have been dead. So could have been a different game with different Dragon RNG maybe.
I don't hate the idea of reforcing it just because there's fewer ultimates down. You just see
They just catch a guy without flash, I guess.
he
Oh,
had
double
flash.
ult.
What the?
He had flash.
Wow.
Yeah,
Just didn't use it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess he got caught by like Rek'Sai Praise Seeker Jin W or something
He
like that.
was kind of flanked where
Rumba ult as well, yeah.
even if he flashed away, it doesn't actually do anything. And here, Road's
And
getting caught.
Road. Well, it
Flanking
was
support
looking bad for
cannon.
C9,
I
but
mean-
How close is he to that Zhonya's? Oh, he's got only an arm guard. This is going to be pretty easy for C9. Smoothie's just got to focus on zoning.
But avoid
his
his
combo's
Baron
down.
stealer.
Yeah.
And they just gave up on it.
yeah.
Right.
Okay. Well, yeah, now it's looking pretty good for C9. They have the Baron, they have the triple cloud, which will go into a good Elder in the next one when that spawns.
6 clouds.
Six clouds.
It's actually only 5.5 clouds.
Wait, that's how it works?
Yeah, it's a 50%. So it'd be 4.5. I can math.
Yeah, 4.5. There's probably a Cloud9 joke in there somewhere.
Zig is hovering on the mouse looking at it.
I just want to see how fast they run, man.
You're trying to look at the move
Yeah,
speed.
it's 75.
Do
it
a
says,
sprint down
so,
mid lane.
75, yeah.
for 3 Cloud Drakes.
Click on that Smoothie when he's got his Moby boots active, see how fast he's going to go.
Yeah, when he comes out of base with the Baron buff, I just want to see him run.
It's a top lane stream. You need to see how fast Impact's running with W on.
Yeah, so here we can see what happens
Oh,
with
it's
this team
Jin W off of
wow.
his own trap.
there. Into the root, into the
Rumble.
ultimate Rumble.
Oh, that is a tragedy.
It was pretty good for
Sneaky
C9
W.
though. And Road just like turns the corner and it's like, oh, Smooth is there.
Yeah, I mean, from there it's pretty hard for IM to really contest the Baron. I mean, you can basically go for a suicide steal, but that's all you got. You can't possibly win a fight after that without your victor.
Yeah, he's also Skarner, so he doesn't have like innate gap closers apart from just like flashing over the wall. So Impact just sticking in the bottom lane. Rest of the team is just almost taking mid lane as well. That's going to go down in a couple
this
seconds.
is dead to the cannon, it looks like.
I'm glad they're playing this slower this time instead of just kind of forcing a dive.
Yeah.
Most of the summoners are up for IM as well, so it is hard to try and force that dive.
Sneaky
Sneaky doesn't
walks
like
up.
slow.
Yeah, just popped the tower. And I got bot lane as well. Impact's been pushing that all the way from River. In a pretty good position. Should be able to push this one in as well. I do want to ask a question about like the game in general, but I just want to see if there's a fight opening up first. Do you think Cloud9 were looking for a kind of a longer game, just judging from like Sneaky's item build from his first item? Because he went for Essence Reaver first, right? And even though like Impact was doing well in his lane and Jensen was getting fed, it seemed like Cloud9 were trying to go for a longer game.
Yeah, honestly, I don't really know why he chose to itemize that way. Because I'm pretty sure if you're snowballing and like 3 out of lane, 40 CS
Go
up,
armor pen.
yeah, you probably want the
Yeah.
armor pen more than
Oh,
crit.
we see IM engaging onto Meteor, Smoothie on the backside. Not getting much done, actually. This is not
Flash
a great
pull
fight
from
for
Maokai.
Cloud9.
TA popped. Jinja just took a lot of damage from nowhere though.
And Road is dead because he's a support cannon.
Oh, there's the flash from Athena.
Yeah, and I think that's an example of just why you don't want the support cannon. He doesn't have the defensive tools available that a regular cannon does in terms of like, damage is a defensive tool. When you're killing them, they can't kill you. And then the Zhonya's, the Proto Belt to help get in there. The support cannon has not been impressive. It was probably more for lane, honestly, and the fact that they botched the laning phase so hard was the problem.
Yeah, I mean, usually, like, the support cannon was supposed to, like, just sit on the ADC. Like, back when it was played, it was, like, a defensive pick. But if you're jumping in, he doesn't have Zhonya's, and, like, he's 1-9 because of it, so...
Honestly, that bot situation opened, like, pretty horribly for C9, and it, like, they got a support kill and just lost their Rek'Sai GA. But it's like, they don't seem like they're on the same page at all. They're all spread, like, super thin. And then the fight opens when Meteos just gets caught and ulted under tower and stuff.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Smoothie looked like he was just trying to go for a flank, but Meteos was like too far ahead of the play. It seems like that's happened a couple times where like Cloud9 has an idea of what they want, but 1 or 2 people just like aren't quite ready for it.
Yeah, pretty much opened the worst possible way it could, but Jensen was just like free hitting most of the fight, so it kind of salvaged it. Like, you could take that play a lot slower, I think, and just get the inhib almost free, especially with mid pushing in for free.
What's your like decision making behind how you want to like place down your ult? Whether you want it like perpendicular to you or like horizontally or vertically?
As the Rumble?
Yeah.
I think it depends on how the fight starts. Like, it's pretty easy as a follow-up tool if your team like gets it, like if they get a Rek'Sai knockup then headbutt Paul combo, then you just want it like on the dudes who are knocked up. But like as the wave hits, I like it when people use Jhin or Rumble all to kind of zone and like allow your team to walk up and hit the tower. So like if there's a Baroned up wave hit and like Victor can't clear it in 1E, then what the Rumble should look to do is find a clump of people that are standing there trying to defend the tower and just ult them off of it. And then Sneaky should be able to walk up for free hits. And even if the front line wants to go and lock Sneaky down, it's like, you know, you'll have no backup because they're all getting zoned by the Rumble ult. So yeah, I think it depends. And like in chokes, obviously, it's like where there's limited space to walk around, you can kind of gauge like where you should try to throw it. Like just, yeah, confined areas are good for Rumble ult.
I'm glad to see C9 leaving. There's no real reason to keep hanging out near that top inhibitor. They don't have a Baron wave to protect it. Victor, Sivir are plenty good enough to clear a single minion wave at a time, and then you don't have the best zoning tools. Like a Poppy ultimate's way better because you just boot the wave clear out of there as opposed to trying to zone it and then losing some of your damage potential through the Rumble ultimate. I like this a lot better just going for the Elder Drake.
On the topic of Poppy, we have a Twitter question talking about that one. So Mogadon Skodax says, why do most teams value Poppy higher than Maokai? They seem to have a similar role and playstyle, CC diving and teamfights.
I think Poppy actually has way more utility, especially against a lot of the current meta picks. Like, people are going back to the Lee Sins and Nidalees and Alistar, and Poppy W just denies every single one of those hops, and that's like a big thing by itself. And then Wall Slam is also like super good follow-up. Like, someone just close to a wall, they get hit by an Elise E or something, or Jhin W, then everybody just piles in. Single target CC works well. I guess Maokai does the same thing as that, but the biggest selling point for Poppy, I didn't even mention, is just the ult. Like, when people are setting up for Baron, it's like the Poppy will literally just stand on the side where a jungler like Rek'Sai or Lee Sin's trying to come in. They put their W up when the guy's trying to come in, and if they don't come in, then they can try to punt him out too. And that, like, a lot of teams are using that really effectively for sieges too. Like, the Poppy will just walk up, charge the ult, then everyone just has to respect like the Poppy ult channel.
This is a really interesting ultimate by Sneaky. Zoning from the right side.
Yeah, I actually like it because it gives his team space to hit the tower, but okay, fight starts.
What do you think about Rumble?
Meteos just dies. I don't know, that's not a great setup. Yeah. And honestly, they could have taken that way slower too, because they had all their waves pushing in.
Oh, that's a great Zhonya's by Impact, but he's still going to die coming out of it.
Yeah, Amazing J got popped, but I don't think it's going to matter too much. Yeah, nice 3 kills to Aimee there.
It just feels like they're flubbing this super hard. Like, they're just taking it way too quick.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't personally like that ultimate from Sneaky that much. Like, the people you have walking up to hit the turret then is just Jensen. And, like,
yeah.
I mean, he does a decent amount of turrets, but it's like your fight potential just drops so much once that happens, because you have such a great comp in terms of, like, you have good DPS, like Ryze does a lot of damage over time. Same with Rumble. They can also chunk people, and then you have, like, Jhin for cleanup. When you start with it like this, like, what are you really getting done here? Like, you did 100 damage to a support and an 80 carry. That was it.
I think that's only correct if all the other waves are crashing. But they just really flubbed this play. Like, they went too far, or too far forward too fast.
Now Aimee is starting off Baron. They're getting it really low.
Sneaky on the ultimate. Will be spell shielding one of those. Super low. Smited away by the Skarner there, and Jensen's also caught off. Oh, Sneaky. Just get the kill onto Jin Zhao.
Yep, they really overextended chasing onto Jensen there. I mean, it's still a 1-for-1, so it's not like the worst thing in the world, but it's not good because, like, Aimee needs people up so that they don't just keep getting pressured into base. If they have 5 people up with the Baron buff, C9 can't really afford to go for these inhibs. But right now, there's a decent chance that C9 walks up for him. Maybe they don't, because keeping these inhibs up is huge. It lets you stay even in game in, like, map pressure. If you lose those for free, C9 can get pressure on your base. They'll actually need to commit to it. And keeping the inhibs up is huge. So if they're able to do it, then it's not a huge deal.
Feels like the gold lead pretty much disappeared. Like, or it's worth disappeared. Like, it's getting late enough in the game where all the carriers are getting their items and armor pen and.
Yeah, I mean, like, Jensen's 6 items, Sneaky's basically Sneaky's 6 items. Athena is basically 6 items.
Jin doesn't have a void, but it's whatever, I guess.
Yeah,
there's not many MR builders. And it seems like Meteos just likes dying to tower every fight, so. He's, like, the Victor's not really concerned with him. I don't. Yeah, it just felt like the last 2 sieges that C9 opened were just like super rushed. Like they have 2 inhibs down, which should translate to a 3rd inhib pretty much if you play it slow enough. Or at least you should be able to like slowly chip it down, and you know there's other people clearing the side waves every other wave if you crash the waves correctly. But
yeah, I mean, in the last push as well, like there was a big minion wave bot lane that was building, big minion wave mid lane that they had to clear anyway after C9 pushed. They just chose to engage as well.
yeah, they pretty much just opened. I think it's just 1 wave early, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like if you wait another 30 seconds for that wave to hit, then you're forcing IMEI to make a tough decision between can we clear this wave that's coming or can we clear the wave that has 5 people accompanying it coming.
I think that the thing that's really scary now is you face like that Sivir Rumble Victor comp. This was like one of the most ridiculous comps to ever exist. And like it's not really meta right now, but like you can do it where basically Sivir speeds up Maokai, he just flash roots a carry, and then Victor flashes in and insta-gives. And like there's not much you can do about it. Even like a QSS isn't like enough because you usually get knocked up by the Maokai right away. And you can't like cleanse that part of it really, and it just becomes so brutal. And I mean like IMEI's at that part, at that power spike where like Victor with the Lich Bane just flashes in and murders somebody with his Q-empowered auto attack.
Yeah, their comp at this point in the game actually looks pretty good. Like they have a lot of rundown, and the only thing about the Skarner I think is his ult can only really go on Alistar, I guess. Like everyone else has QSS, or
I mean,
or he has to
Alistar
trade
can
it for a QSS or something.
Yeah, I mean, you can try and let it get baited out, hopefully, with something like that Maokai Flash W, and then you follow up Flash it. But it's not great. I think there could have been better jungle picks, definitely, that don't let you, like, because they do the same thing, essentially, Maokai and Skarner. They both want to flash and CC somebody. And you can get more CC, but like an Elise would be like a range CC that then they have to cleanse, and then you have the Maokai. Like, there's different play patterns versus, like, run in there and then press your CC button.
Kind of just as like a trivial question for you, Zig, in top lane, like, would you prefer having the Poppy or the Maokai right now? Because like Maokai, he has the ultimate, and they have like 2 big AP carries on C9 versus Poppy being able to punch someone out.
Honestly, I think Maokai, like the better selling factor about Poppy is I feel like her laning's a bit more stable than the Maokai, and now that Maokai actually made it out, it seems like Maokai is about as useful as the Poppy at this point, because Maokai's healing mechanism is really, really good at this point in the game. Everyone's casting a lot of spells, so pretty much every auto attack he gets off is like, it heals him for 8% of his own max health or whatever it is. Let me check the value actually.
You should have checked it while you were speaking. That's what the caster thing that we do. So we slow down what we're saying, and this is like, ah, yes, exactly 8%.
I think the other thing too, in favor
of... It says 8% of his max health. That's
damn
unlucky. Wait, check the thing, this one. What does that say?
Next phase stack will heal him. I'm pretty sure it's not a full 8% anymore. It might still be.
It's pretty high though, and people will be casting spells all fight, so it's just like as long as he's weaving autos between his spells, he'll heal a lot.
It's 5, 6, 7 scaling up.
Oh, 7.
But the thing is like, while I think Maokai's a better tank, just straight up in terms of like survivability during a fight. Poppy does have a little bit more utility, like Zig was talking about, in terms of the W being able to be used as
like Baron.
Yeah, like zoning on dashes, as well as if you get on top of somebody, you can just press your W and like they have a gap closer, which actually isn't that useful against IMEI's against C9's comp. They're all pretty immobile.
Yeah. It is good versus the Rek'Sai and the Alistar though. Like Poppy's good versus that. And yeah, if you can manage to like punt somebody out of the fight that's like a priority carry, and then you just have 4v5 for like 15 seconds or something, it's pretty good too. But yeah, it's just the tanks will do their jobs at this point in the game. Like I think the hardest part of a tank's life is just lane phase, and I think it's well past that. So the champions will do what the champions are intended to do, like the Maokais and the Poppies at this point.
The other thing too is, I think it's a little bit harder to play against Sivir as a tank late game because like her damage is pretty crazy, whereas like Jhin needs to get to that 4th auto attack to really do like a ton of like damage to you, and late game it gets to this point versus Sivir Victor where like they cut through your resistances and they just blow you up. So like Meteos like dies so quickly in a fight as a frontliner, where like Maokai, even though he's tankier than Rek'Sai normally, C9's comp also doesn't like burn a tank down quite as quickly as IMEI's comp.
It's actually weird. The Sneaky was up like 40 CS in the early lane phase, but I guess at some point Sivir just pulled away, like clearing all those inhib creeps and stuff. And
yeah, when waves go towards her and she's Sivir, so it's just like water a wave, delete it.
She just made the 6-item threshold pretty good, and I guess everyone is pretty much 6-item in the game, so it's looking like this 14k gold lead that, or sorry, 12k gold lead that C9 has doesn't really mean that much anymore.
I think everyone's full build pretty much apart from like Impact because he has the QSS, but the only guy who hasn't upgraded it into a Mercurial. There's like 4 Mercurials in this game.
Is that real?
Sneaky is at 800 attack damage, 797 technically. Yeah.
I guess that's how Jin scales. I don't play much Jin.
Yeah, Jin's attack speed gets converted into AD. So
Everything gets converted into
everything's
AD.
in AD. So
Yeah, it looks like he traded his boots for another item. So.
yeah, the fan
That's
dancer.
why.
Yeah, you can easily get over like 1k with certain builds as well, but
Okay. Yeah, but he needs defensive items
Yeah.
like pen and stuff, I guess. So.
Yeah, and the thing is, I'm not sure like if you're ulting a squishy, if the like high AD is even better, because I mean like the way their comp works, like he should be using it more for cleanup onto the carries, as like Rumble had got them low or something, and I'm not sure if this was like the best build for what their comp was trying to do, especially given that he was snowballing in the early mid game.
I mean, the idea
They're
right
gonna try to
is-
burn this Baron down. It should work.
I mean, they have enough
honestly.
vision that the traps are slowing the Skarner's approach, and then they have Al sort of headbutt away, and they have a ton of damage to get it low, so this should be pretty free.
Yeah. Like every single time Sneaky attacks now, it's a crit.
The problem is now they're not in a great spot for the fight.
Good rumble wall. It's owned a lot of people off.
Impact gets dragged in. There's QSS.
Amazing J's already been popped, as well as Alistair going down. Jensen's not in a great spot.
Impact can't do anything in this fight.
Well,
Maybe
got his
they
ult
jumped on
down.
top of him. Yeah.
It's 3v3 now. And everyone's pretty low.
Athena's not in a great spot. He's
Rise
gonna
off.
Oh, that's
yes.
rapid fire cannon range. Let's go.
Jin Jiao, I don't think
C9.
you won any of that.
All right, that's good. That's yeah. I think it's actually game for C9 if they play this properly.
I mean,
death timers are super long.
the one thing that sometimes gets people is like the Sivir crits on the creeps that you're
Oh,
trying
yeah.
to use to zone you, and next thing you know,
You
you're
get crit
not even
shade.
being close to Sivir, you're at half health, and she flashes in for like the auto W reset. But C9's healed up enough, and they're going to have a lot of super creeps coming to help them out. So this should be relatively safe for them to end the game here.
They're in real good shape. Like, everyone like dogpiled Impact in that fight. He went into like Zhonya's, he got back up and then died, and then the rest of the team just killed everyone.
That was interesting. Zanya's from Road.
Oh yeah.
He finally got it, so he really wanted to press it.
Meteos is just being a meat shield here. He doesn't really care what happens. He's trying to stop them from clearing the wave and hitting his carries as we're trying to end the game.
Meet
And-
Shieldios.
Meat Shieldios.
Oh.
He has good flash, but
Nah,
Too little,
game's
too late.
over.
Yeah.
Cloud9, apple pie.
Jensen did die to the Ricochet actually at the end there too.
Yeah, that's
Ricochet. I hate how that thing doesn't have a good animation to it either.
It's like this halfly invisible disc flying at your face.
yeah, it's like when it didn't crit, it kind of is like, all right, you know, it doesn't need an animation. It does like 40% of every pass bounce, but when it starts to crit, it's like, wait, this thing's killing me, and she's like 1,000 range from me. That's not a Sivir.
I mean, what would you really do though if you saw this like blade kind of dinking its way towards you?
Yeah, I guess you'd have the same
flashing away
reaction.
from the creeps, and you're like about to get hit.
It follows you anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a not a great game from C9 for sure. Like the fact that they're probably gonna have to play some sort of tiebreaker today,
Depends on the next game.
depending on the next game, of course. They had a decent early game, but half of it looked like just like the cannon pick kind of failed. And then if they go into the mid game and they're not snowballing, they didn't do anything that was that impressive, and then their late game wasn't that great either. So I'm a little hesitant on C9's chances following a rematch potentially against the Flash Wolves. And Aimee, they had a decent shot at show at Worlds. They had some interesting picks, some good games.
They're still, wait, are they 2-4? Oh, so they're 2-4, C9's 3-3, Flash Wolves 3-3, so that's 3-3 tiebreak.
Assuming Flash Wolves loses, they'll be 3-3. If Flash
Okay.
Wolves wins, it's 4-2, 4-2 in both SKT
okay.
and Get Out. And I think Flash Wolves is the 1 seed because they would have both wins over SKT.
Ooh.
I believe that's the case.
Yeah, that
I believe
sounds
so,
right.
yeah.
Wait, so NA only has hope if Flash Wolves
Loses,
okay.
and then Cloud9 wins again.
Okay. Just trying to figure out that NA hope. You know?
Yeah, just got
What
living
are
on
the
a
chances?
dream.
Just take a look at this one. Final question just on this game. Like Impact, like he had the laning phase. Like he was pretty significantly up on the Maokai. He like couldn't do anything, and we saw it. Do you think there could have been anything that Cloud9 could have done to accelerate it? Because we know like Cloud9 doesn't like helping out Impact, but in this game, could they have accelerated instead of having Sneaky go like a late game build?
No, I mean, I was being a little critical about Meteos getting stuff done, but right as I said that, he got a kill off bottom, and then they took turret, and then
Yeah.
from there, it was kind of C9 moving around the map and not giving Impact a ton of farm as they took turrets. So
Yeah.
I actually think what they did was fine in terms of kind of snowballing their lead, but their itemization wasn't great, and then once they start getting Barons, they often like flubbed their dives and gave away kills. So that's what I was more concerned about.
Yeah, I think they just played some situations too quickly. Like the top inhib fight where Sneaky opened from mid, it was kind of weird. And then, yeah, at that Baron fight too, Sneaky opened also from like the same type of angle
Yeah.
where he's firing his ult sideways, and it just seemed like they just jumped the gun a little much or a little quick. Like, you know, SKT was like really hesitant to hit a tower when it's like 200 HP when they're running their poke comp and they're afraid like that the enemy team can just throw a straight Bardol or like Nautilus Q. But C9 was like just, all right, waves hitting, let's go. And it just didn't work out for them some of the time. So
Yeah, but a win's a win and the dream's still alive, right? So
yeah, dreams alive.
yeah, at the end of that one, we'll be back for the last game of the day, and you won't want to miss it because Papa Smithy and Pobelter will join me to break down Maple versus Faker. That should be a good one. But until then, we're going to pass it back to the mainstream for an interview with Meteos about their big win for Cloud9.